This is the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast with Nick Cattles.
All right, let's get to the Buffalo game. What was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway in this game was Drake freaking Maye. Drake Maye. So starting with basically the DeMario Douglas sideline pass on the last drive of the first half. From then to the end of the game, Drake Maye played at an elite level. He did. I mean, he was outstanding in that game. I mean, I think, let's just say this, he didn't have a great first half until that final drive. Okay. But he elevated himself in the team from there on out and out-dueled Josh Allen. He Josh Allen. And he was just from that drive, from that pass, I think I had him for like 11 plus plays and 2 minus plays. And 5 of the plays were elite level quarterbacking. And now, does that mean that Drake Maye's elite right now? No, but it's certainly great to know that he can elevate himself, that he could get to that level just in general, let alone there with Josh Allen on the other sidelines on Sunday Night Football against a division rival. So, my biggest takeaway was Drake Maye rose another level, at least temporarily, and that was eye-popping. He was outstanding. He had so many tremendous plays down the stretch. The Patriots do not win that game without Drake Maye doing what he did, and for him to be at that point after where he was in week 1 is just astounding. So my biggest takeaway is Drake freaking Maye just going to an elite level, at least temporarily, and carrying this team basically to victory.
Yeah, we saw some of those throws, right? I'm sure a lot of people can guess some of the elite level plays you're talking about. I'd imagine off the one leg, rolling to your right, the 30-plus yard dime on the sideline to Stephon Diggs was just a tremendous play. That replay from the end zone camera is outstanding. Just to see that play unfold the way it did. Obviously, the first down play on the game-winning drive where he escapes somehow, some way to get it to Diggs, that was a tremendous play. I thought the couple of throws to Hunter Henry in the middle of the field were also really, really good throws. He was excellent, especially in the second half. But as you mentioned, I wouldn't say it was a tale of two halves because he got it going a little bit late in the first half. But, Greg, I thought early on he was doing some of the stuff we had seen him do when he hasn't been at his best. Week 1, some of the stuff against the Steelers, which is, feeling the pressure when it's not really there, drifting into pressure, not keeping his eyes downfield, remaining as a passer. Did you see some of the same stuff in the same, let me create a word if it doesn't exist, jitteriness early in this game?
I know, and I already heard from people when I pointed out that like the Bills barely. I think I had him for 1 blitz in the first half, and Drake Maye did not play well, and I just said he played okay in the first half, and I got blowback on that. I mean, can we just be adults here and just it's a fact. Drake Maye did not play well in the first half until the final drive. He even took a knockdown early on that drive that he didn't need to take, but I had him for 2 sacks. And Drake Maye also admitted this stuff at the podium after the game, that he did not play well in the first half, that he took a couple sacks that he didn't need to. Chris Collinsworth pointed out on the broadcast very well that, he wasn't keeping his eyes down the field. But I agree. One play, and actually they called this play twice, shows sort of how I'm impressed with Drake Maye about how like just the improvement that he makes, not only from game to game, but during the game. So there was a play early in that game. I'm not sure when it was, but Drake Maye took a check down to Travion Henderson and got 4 or 5 yards. And, a lot of people would be like, okay, that's fine. And as opposed to Josh Allen, who did not take the check downs at all in this game and should have. And it's part of the reason why Drake Maye out-dueled him in this game. So on that play to Travion Henderson, they ran a play where Mac Hollins runs he nods to the flag and then he goes to the post. It's an over route, and then Hunter Henry's coming open. On the play, the Patriots max protected the play. It was really only a 2-man route. And Drake Maye had all freaking day. Nobody was near him. And he quickly took the check down when Hunter Henry was coming open. But guess what? I'm sure they went back to the sideline. McDaniel shows them the picture, probably says to him, hey, look at the picture. Look how much time you have. Just relax. Take your time, take a beat, let the play develop. And wouldn't you know, they come back to that play, and that was, the Hunter Henry, twisting in the air pass. They ran the exact same play. They hit it. It was a big play on that final drive. And so, so that just shows you Drake Maye struggle at certain points in the game, and he did in the first half. Like, I think until that Demario Douglas pass, I think I had him for 1+ play and like 6 minus plays, and almost all of them were him bringing pressure upon himself when he didn't need to. But for whatever reason, in the second half, maybe the Bills blitzing a little bit more. At one point, they blitzed 5 straight plays when the Bills were down 7. The Patriots were driving. I think that plays into Drake a little bit more, especially when you allow him to escape to the right and you don't have a plan to say, all right, we're going to blitz, but we're going to come from his front side so we can't escape that way. But I thought you're right. It wasn't a tale of two halves because he did start cooking at the end of the first half. But from that point on, he was Drake Maye, top 5 NFL QB, and the Patriots do not win that game by 3 points unless he plays out of his rear end and outplays Josh Allen.
And I think it's actually a credit to mention that he wasn't very good to start this game, and the fact that he was off to a slow start. In most of the first half, he was jittery. Because of the improvement that we saw, the fact that he doesn't get mentally impacted by that on such a big stage, he gets over it. He resets, and he's almost a completely different guy and turns it on and outplays Josh Allen, the MVP. I think that's more of a credit to Drake Maye than disparaging him, saying, oh, well, he was off to a slow start. Those things happen. A lot of Patriots fans, they watch the Patriots. They don't watch, a ton of the league. There are certainly a lot of Patriots fans that do watch a lot of NFL football on a weekly basis, but I'm telling you, like, look at Patrick Mahomes last night, the interception he throws at the 1-yard line to Jacksonville, primetime game, a guy who's, known as the best quarterback in football for the past 7-8 years, and he makes that kind of a mistake. Those things happen. It's whether or not you can get over them and prove that you can play at a higher level when your team needs you to. And that's what Maye did on Sunday night. I want to ask you,
Nick, let me ask one thing. Let me add one thing to that.
Sure.
So, on the first drive, the third down sack I put on Maye. So, a little bit of a slow start, but, things might've been different if Stevenson doesn't fumble after a 7-yard gain. It was, one of the few good run plays that they had in the game. They were at the Buffalo 47, who knows what Drake Maye goes from there. Then, the next drive, Diggs drops a third down pass, near midfield, where I thought Drake Maye did a great job of putting the ball on his outside shoulder to get him away from the linebacker that was there. That was a drop on Maye. And then you have the Vidarian Lowe 3rd and 1 false start. So if those things don't happen, sort of the self-inflicted wounds from the Patriots, and, the Bills were in a similar predicament, probably worse in the first half. Who knows? Maybe Drake Maye gets a little bit settled down a little bit earlier, and he plays like he did at the end of the first half earlier in that half.